Hi, fifth graders. Welcome to lesson 7-5. Today we're adding and subtracting fractions, and we are going to write equivalent fractions to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators. We're on page 285 in your Envision textbook. Solve and share. Tyler and Dean ordered pizza. Tyler ate 1/2 of the pizza, and Dean ate 1/3 of the pizza. How much of the pizza was eaten? So we've got two questions here. How much was eaten and how much is left? We're talking about two different size pieces here. So remember, we cannot add or subtract fractions without having the same size pieces. So that's our first task, is to find a common denominator to make our pieces the same size. So we are going to add what Tyler ate with what Dean ate to find out how much was eaten first, our first question. And to do that, as we just mentioned, we need a common denominator. 2 and 3 have a common denominator of 6. 1/2 is the same, we have to multiply times 3 as 3/6. Now, what number do we multiply 3 times to get our 6? We'd multiply times 2, so we do the same to the numerator. So 1 times 2 is 2, so 1/3 becomes 2/6. When we add 3/6 plus 2/6, we get 5/6. So 5/6 of the pizza was eaten. We have a pizza, one whole pizza. One whole, if we're dividing our pizza into 6 pieces, is equivalent to 6/6. To find out how much is left, we take away what is eaten, the 5/6. 6 take away 5 is 1. And that tells us we have 1/6 left. If we wanted to draw this to show our 6 equal pieces, we notice here's 1/3. Here is 1/2. So that shows this 1/6 is still remaining, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 have been eaten. This was eaten by Tyler, and the 1/3 was eaten by Dean, with 1/6 left over. All right, let's take a look at page 287. We're going to skip the first one because that goes along with the example we did not do that you did in your visual learning video. Number 2 says, Kevin estimated the difference of 9/10 minus 4/8 to be 0. Is his estimate reasonable? Well, let's take a look at our fractions. 9/10 is about 1 when we round it, and it's almost a whole. 4/8 is exactly 1/2. So when we estimate the difference, 1 whole, take away 1/2, we get a 1/2. So his answer is not reasonable. 1/2 would be. Do you know how? Number 3, find the sum or difference. Again, we've got unlike denominators. That's our first step. We cannot add or subtract fractions without a common denominator. I think of my multiples of 15, 30, 45. My multiples of 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. So our common denominator is going to be 30. 15 times 2 is 30, so 1 times 2 is 2. 6 times 5 is 30, so 1 times 5 is 5. Now I can add my fractions. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7/30. We do the same for number 4, 16 and 4, but I noticed that 16 is a multiple of 4, so we only need to change the fourths to sixteenths. The top one remains the same. 4 times 4 is 16. 1 times 4 is 4. And then we're subtracting. Our numerator's 7, take away 4 is 3. And we keep the same denominator. Number 5, 8 and 6. Our multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 24. Our multiples of 6, 6, 12, 18, 24. So we've got a common denominator of 24. 7/8. To get the denominator 8 to become 24, we have to multiply times 3. So we multiply the numerator times 3. 7 times 3 is 21. 6 times 4 is 24. And 3 times 4 is 12. We're subtracting. 21 take away 12 is 9. 24ths. Number 6, we've got a multi-step problem here. We have parentheses. That tells us we need to do what's inside the parentheses first, and then we take that difference when we subtract and add it to 7/8. So 4/8 take away 2/4. We need to have a common denominator, which 8's a multiple, so 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. So our 2/4 is now 4/8. 4/8 take away 4/8. We've taken it all away, is 0. 7/8 plus 0 is 7/8. It's a lot easier than it looked. All right, you're going to do independent practice, 8 through 22 even. We'll do one more. We'll do number 7 together. And you'll start with 8, and then you'll also do 28, 29 on the back. Looking at number 7, our denominators are 50 and 5. 50 is a multiple of 5, so we will multiply 5 times 10 to get 50 for our denominator. So we multiply the numerator times 10, which would give us 30. 4 50ths plus 30 50ths is 34 50ths. Find your common denominator first. Each fraction needs to have an equivalent fraction with that same denominator, and then add or subtract. Remember, in these problems at the bottom, solve what's inside the parentheses first, then you have a second step. Solve this one first, then add. Solve this first, then subtract.